All right, we want to be appreciative of everyone's time, and so we will get started. It's about a minute after 10. We've got a good crowd in here. So good morning and welcome to the monthly Visit NC webinar. Today we're going to get some updates on our Trail Town program from Bobby Chappelle with Tourism Impact Services, as well as some other updates from the Uproar team of Nate and Derek on Outdoor NC. And then Daniel Sapp with the Great Trail State Coalition is going to tell us about the work that they're doing with our government leaders and how you can get involved. So this webinar will be recorded and we will have time at the end for some Q&A. So please remember to put your questions in the chat. And from here, I'm going to turn it over to Bobby and take it away.
Excellent. Thank you, Heidi. And thank you everyone for joining. We're excited to share some updates about the Trail Town program and importantly, hopefully give some information about participating in the program for this upcoming year. So to kick things off, I don't think this is anything that I need to tell folks in the room today. But North Carolina certainly has a stunning diversity of outdoor assets, spanning from the mountains, from the Piedmont, over to the coast. There just really is an abundance of natural splendor that is there to be explored. And in fact, there is 11% of North Carolina is protected public lands, and nearly all of it is open for public use and enjoyment. And this includes the 42 state parks around the state, 12 National Park Service units, 5 federally designated wild and scenic rivers, 4 national forests. There's about 90 plus bodies of water and over 300 miles of coastline. And the great thing is that there are trails to be found everywhere across these public lands and across the state. So what I want to do now is kind of explain what led to the development of the Outdoor NC Trail Town Stewardship Program. So first off, North Carolina is the Great Trail State. And the Year of the Trail was really just the beginning. We're continuing to see a lot of enthusiasm and investments in trails and outdoor recreation because of the known benefits, that include improving physical and mental health, inspiring an appreciation of nature and encouraging an ethos of conservation, bringing people together to build community, and of course, generating economic impact and measurable return on investment. And so there's a lot of momentum and new initiatives happening around the Great Trails State. And Daniel from the Great Trails State Coalition will be here in just a little bit to share some updates on that. Another important factor is that trails are, just increasingly popular, and they mean much more than just outdoor recreation activities. Trails actually connect us to nature, community, culture, and history. Of course, we have our human-powered trails that were celebrated during the Year of the Trail. These include, some of our state trails like Mountains to Sea, that goes from Klingman's Dome over to Jockey Ridge, and many other state designated trails that cover a total of 3,400 miles across the state. We also have every other type of trail that you can think of, from walking, hiking, biking, horseback riding, and water trails that are found on 3.8 million acres of public lands. And then the Department of Cultural and Natural Resources also represent a number of excellent trails. They're heritage trails that include the Moonshine and Motorsports, the African American Music Trail, and the Appalachian Mural Trail, and more. These are great because they introduce residents and visitors to the history and the cultural significance of topics that are really important to North Carolina heritage. And then North Carolina also has a wealth of driving and experiential trails that cover all things in between. And so there are things like the Oyster Trail or the Ice Cream Trail in Hendersonville, or the Fly Fishing Trail in Jackson County. Dozens of walking history trails that walk through downtown corridors showing historic locations, and many, many more. And another consideration for the Trail Town program is that we heard from North Carolina tourism stakeholders that they felt strongly that tourism plays a vital role in outdoor stewardship. So in 2023, we did a survey around the state with North Carolina tourism stakeholders. And as what we found out was that about 95% of respondents all agreed that North Carolina's tourism industry should do its part to maintain outdoor spaces for the enjoyment of the public. Also, that communications regarding responsible visitation, that can have a positive impact on residents, and that they thought that it was important to elevate accessibility, inclusion, diversity, and equity in North Carolina. So a quick recap, right? So North Carolina is the Great Trail State. North Carolina has a wide variety of trails to celebrate, and North Carolina stakeholders told us they recognize the importance of stewardship of trails and outdoor spaces. So a Trail Town program seemed to be the next logical step for outdoor NC programming. But what is a trail town, and what should a trail town look like? So traditionally, a destination or a town can be identified as a trail town due to its proximity to a notable trail system, or to visitor amenities that are offered to trail users. In a trail town program, participation is usually meant to bring some kind of return on investment by increasing visitor spending, or improving trails and protecting nature. So kind of at that baseline level, we understand what a trail town tends to be, but we didn't want to be traditional with our trail town program. We really wanted to do something unique. So what we did is we designed the Outdoor NC Trail Town Stewardship Program. And this is an incentive-based designation program that was designed for our TDA, our tourism development authorities, and our DMO, destination marketing and management organization partners. This program is suitable for all towns and all trails, and we truly mean that. Any town can participate. As we've mentioned, North Carolina has just an incredible variety of trails, nature trails, heritage trails, experiential trails. So even if you don't have access to, like dozens and dozens of miles of trails in a national park or a national forest, I bet you have a greenway or a historic walking trail or some kind of a heritage or experiential trail. And all of these are important. And if you don't have one of these trails, then certainly reach out and let's talk, because we would be happy to direct you to the resources that can help to change that. But most importantly, the program is about Trail Town stewardship. That's what really stands out here. And that's kind of our play on words for destination stewardship. And so what we're doing is we're introducing incremental steps to help our TDA and DMO partners get started with destination stewardship or elevate the work that they're already doing. So our partners are working to promote a responsible travel ethos. They are creating a more inclusive outdoor recreation and tourism industry. And collectively, we are celebrating the diversity of trails and towns around the state. So how are we doing that? Well, what we're doing is really putting a lot of effort into a Trail Town Stewardship Visitor Guide. So this is really going to be our primary tool to celebrate the towns and the trails across the state. So this trail guide aims to amplify North Carolina destinations that champion the value of stewardship and exemplify those key attributes and qualities of a North Carolina trail town. So the guide really is going to be that kind of final payoff for a series of destination stewardship activities that our partners are doing as part of the program. So it really is an incentive-based designation program. And Nate and Derek from Uproar Concepts will give a bit more information about the guide and how we're sharing this information out to the public here in just a moment. But it is more than just the designation and a visitor guide. At its core, This is really aimed to be a quality assurance program so we can more effectively scale up our collective impact and ensure a greater return on investment for our partners. The more partners that participate, the more trails we can celebrate, so the more attention we can generate around this visitor guide. So the trail guide is certainly going to be something that can bring value in promoting towns and trails and local amenities to try to increase visitor spending in these destinations. And then also activating destination stewardship activities and increasing awareness of inclusive and responsible travel best practices will have a lasting impact for our partners. And then Outdoor NC, the Trail Town Stewardship Program, and the Trail Town Guide are certainly all relevant to the entire state. Can't be more clear about that. You know, we really do mean all towns and all trails. And then finally, Outdoor NC, the Trail Town Stewardship Program, and the Trail Guide are a direct reflection of things that we heard from North Carolina stakeholder engagement. This is really something that was built by statewide stakeholders. It's also unique approach to destination stewardship and Trail Town programming, which does make it a strong point of differentiation for the tourism industry. But to be sure, these aren't just green programs that are about picking up litter on trails, and it certainly extends well beyond the outdoors. We are trying to foster connections within the entire community, helping our partners build relationships and stronger relationships with the public sector, the civic sector, and the private sector. And so to effectively do this is what we have had to do is try to find ways to seamlessly integrate our programs into partner operations. And so our TDA and DMO partners, they're marketing experts, right? That's who we are working with. And marketing can be an effective stewardship tool. So what we're trying to do is work through our partners to extend our call to action, which is aimed at fostering community and building momentum around core concepts a destination stewardship throughout North Carolina. And that call to action is to not just experience North Carolina, but to embrace North Carolina and to join the movement to protect and preserve our outdoor places for future generations. So let's take a quick look at what we've accomplished since we kicked off the program last fall. I first want to take a moment to acknowledge the participants in the year one cohort that participated, in our pilot year. They were certainly collectively willing to participate in this pilot year program and provided really good constructive insights that helped shape the program and the final design that will ultimately pay off in the long-term success of this program for other North Carolina tourism partners as they sign up. So in year one, we had 15 TDA and DMO partners join and had really good representation across the state. So in the mountains, Buncombe County TDA and Explore Asheville participated, Blowing Rock, Haywood County, Highlands, Jackson County, McDowell County, and Transylvania County. In the Piedmont, we had Gaston County, Johnston County, Pinehurst, Rockingham County, Wilkes County. And on the coast, we had Camden County, Dare County, and OBX and Pender County all participated. And collectively, these TDAs, they are representing over 50 trail towns in the counties across the state. So just a really great showing for the first year for the program. And their participation goes back to last November and December when we hosted 5 workshops across the state and welcomed over 60 attendees, as well as that inaugural cohort of participants. And since those workshops, our partners have engaged with land managers and community stakeholders. They've also engaged with local businesses. And in fact, through the Trail Town program, we've reached over 5,000 local businesses, encouraging them to adopt sustainable tourism best practices and again, extend that call to action to their customers to join the movement as well. And our partners have also developed responsible travel web pages and blogs, accessible outdoor inventories and web pages, as well as destination trip tip itineraries. We have also collected information on over 100 trails and over 50 accessible outdoor assets, which will all be included in the trail guide when it's published in August. So now is what I want to do is hand things over to Nate and Derek from Uproar Concepts to share some more information about some of the programmatic outcomes specific to the communications.
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to quickly kind of talk through some of the outcomes that will result from the pilot year of the Trail Town program. As you are probably all well aware, over the past year, we've been revamping and developing quite a bit of programming and communication channels surrounding the Outdoor NC initiative as a whole. And one of our core goals right now is to drive additional brand awareness for Outdoor NC. The Trail Town program will essentially be a spearhead for that throughout the coming year and in coming years. And we're also launching multiple communication channels, which we'll detail here in a moment, which are also driving brand awareness. Throughout this pilot year of the Trail Town program, all of our partners, as Bobby just mentioned, have generated quite a bit of content speaking to those specific subject matter areas such as core messaging for Outdoor NC, accessible outdoors, Trail Town trip tips, and all of that has been generated within the unique partner brand style and brand voice. There's also pretty comprehensive guides that we've created for each of these participants that show them step by step how to integrate and implement this content into their own presence online, and will be driving traffic to each of those pieces of content in the future. I'm going to turn it over to Derek in a second to detail that a bit. So all of this will be embodied by the Trail Town Stewardship Visitor Guide, which will be an online guide in the format of a digital flip book with multiple outbound links to each partner's content, which will also be promoted in every way, shape, and form through our content channels, as well as through PR and multiple initiatives to drive awareness for the guide itself. And this is going to result in what we anticipate is, really tremendous economic impact for responsible travel throughout the state. So I'm going to turn it over to Derek now, and he's going to kind of talk about some of the new Outdoor NC channels and how they're going to drive awareness and traffic for our partners. So Bobby, if you just want to move ahead.
So yeah, as of Earth Day of this year, we're excited to launch all of our new channels for Outdoor NC. And as you can see, it's multifaceted, but each channel here drives our main goal to sort of continue to drive awareness towards the Outdoor NC brand. Now, through this, one of our first, obviously, main channels is social media. We now have launched our channels on Instagram and Facebook. We are posting regularly now, and for our partners, we're posting as part of the Outdoor NC Alliance co-op program. So each partner is submitting content for us to publish on their behalf. And in addition to that, we are also highlighting, organic seasonal content that arises within our partners. So we're prioritizing our Outdoor NC Alliance partners through that content to really highlight and celebrate what y'all have within your destinations. Secondly, we've launched our e-news letter, which is called Evergreen. At this point, we are publishing monthly through the summer months and then bi-monthly through the winter months, which results in 8 issues annually. In addition to that, we are including plenty of Outdoor NC Alliance partner features. Those are also that content is also submitted from our partners and then published through our e-news, which really offers partners a way to tell a longer form story of their stewardship efforts within their destination. That also includes plenty of thematic and seasonal highlights from other destinations, as well as highlights from our Outdoor NC Guide program as well. Third, we recently launched our website, which we'll show to you guys here in a minute if y'all haven't seen it yet. Our website is heavily partner focused. As you'll see, we have partner features on the landing page as well as a sub page promoting plenty of your own websites and all of your stewardship efforts going on there. In addition, we have a whole lot of blog content that we're publishing throughout the state as well. That highlights everything from accessibility to the Outdoor NC Leave No Trace principles as well as the Trail Town program, which we're going to speak to in a minute. That will live within our website, as Nate said, via an online flip book. And finally, the Trail Town Guide, which we are excited in just a moment to kind of reveal what the partner spreads look like. But at the end of the day, the Trail Town Guide is a function, or its function is to push downstream traffic to our partners' websites and all of the wonderful work they put into documenting their accessibility features as well as stewardship efforts so far. And the Trail Town Guide will also be promoted throughout all of our other channels as well. So to reveal sort of what our feel looks like for our Trail Town Guide, Bobby, you can go ahead and step to the next slide. All right, so this is what our spread looks like. And as you kind of look through here, you can see that we have a boatload of outbound links from on each of these pages, starting with just under the main Trail Town right there. We have outbound links to the website, to social media handles at the outset. And the description here is provided from our participants, so we'll be inserting that. And then down towards the bottom of the left-hand side page, you see here we've got outbound links to the accessible outdoors pages, destination trip tips, and responsible travel pages that each one of our participating destinations have put together as part of the Trail Town program. Now, in addition to that, they are providing us with a list of trails that they would like to highlight that embodies all of the work that they have done so far. All of these links here on the right-hand side are outbound links to more information on these trails. Some of these outbound links will link back to specific web pages that our partners have built for the trails, or they might just be an outbound link to a third-party service, such as All Trails, highlighting more information about the trails here. Really, ultimately, what we're trying to do is be transparent and just provide as much information as possible on these trails for these destinations, so that when people choose to go and adventure in these destinations, they have all of the necessary information they need to make the right choice for their skill level, for their accessibility level, to have the best experience possible. So we're really excited to put together, custom layouts for each one of our partners. And as you'll see sort of below our trails there, we have specific photographs that have been submitted from our partners as well that will be included in our spreads. So without further ado, I'll kick it back to Nate to speak a little bit on our new website, if you haven't had a chance to visit that.
So, yeah, thanks, Bobby. So yeah, as we mentioned previously, we have a really wide variety of new communication channels dedicated to outdoor NC, which we are now implementing to highlight our partners. One of our other core strategic goals is, supporting and highlighting and driving traffic to all of our Outdoor NC Alliance partner participants. And so as part of this website redesign, version 1 is now live. We're getting ready to roll out a second version with even more content. But as you'll see here, the partner page has been integrated into the header navigation. There's also a dynamic and randomized partner highlight section on the homepage of the website. So as you go down just below the Leave No Trace principles there, the very next section you see will be partner features, also with a CTA button to explore all of our partners. But the logos that are displayed within that carousel are all randomized on page load, so everyone gets a chance to get a little bit of love there, and that also randomizes with each individual user. So every page impression includes that randomization and allows each partner to kind of get some equal features on the home page. And then as well, we have the partner landing page, which highlights all of our partners, broken apart by category for our guardians, champions, and explorers. And then we're also rolling out, as we mentioned before, new blog posts, which will integrate and prioritize partner features and responsible recreation throughout the state. We're evolving a lot of our messaging now to speak about the Outdoor NC Leave No Trace principles, but also to highlight specific activities within each of the destinations and engage with different types of outdoor enthusiasts to help educate and inform and drive traffic to our partners. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Bobby, and he can keep things going. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Uproar. That is fantastic to see. Love seeing those updates. Can't wait to see the final product of the guide come together and be published. I think we are looking at early mid-August for that. So everyone, please be on the lookout for that. What I do hope everybody recognizes is what we're trying to do with this program is elevate the value of responsible, inclusive travel, but also to elevate the work that our partners are doing. This really is a partner promotion directed program, and we are just focusing primarily around those destination stewardship principles and encouraging and helping our partners really increase the work that they're doing with that. So now is what I want to do is introduce our step-by-step process for designation and inclusion in the guide, because it's what I hope is that most people that are on the call today, that's what you're here to hear about. So I want to make sure that we can cover some of that information and let you know what the next steps look like. So up to this point, we have really invested a great deal of time and effort into research and development for this program, because we've always had our eyes on programmatic outcomes. We, purposefully, that's what we did. We wanted to see where this program could go, and then we built a program to get there. And the first thing that the Trail Town program really aims to provide is a learning-based program to introduce those key concepts of destination stewardship, accessible outdoors, responsible travel, and sustainable tourism. And we felt it was incredibly important to provide that foundation of knowledge on these specific subjects so we could achieve those ambitious outcomes that we had set. So for example, participants will learn about one of our core beliefs in this program, which is that a community is an ecosystem that needs to be in balance. And destination stewardship and its focus on collaborating towards common goals can help create that balance in the community ecosystem. And so in a very under the radar way is what we're trying to do is embed destination stewardship good practice into the communities that we are working with. Like I said, we really tried to find a way to seamlessly integrate destination stewardship into partner operations. And so through participation in Outdoor NC and the Trail Town Stewardship designation, our partners will be convening with stakeholders like public land managers and adaptive recreation providers and try to understand where stronger partnerships can be established. Our partners will inventory unique assets that encapsulate a destination sense of place, inventory ADA compliant outdoor spaces to empower people with disabilities to enjoy the wealth of natural resources around the state. And also inventory every sort of trail that ranges from hiking and biking and paddling to historic and heritage and experiential. And then collectively, we will create communications to share the importance of inclusion and stewardship with a broad audience through your destination channels. As Nate mentioned, all of the communications are kind of created in your brand and your voice for you to be able to share through your channels, but also for Outdoor NC to be able to share out as well. So now let's talk about the step-by-step participation. So first thing, as a way to increase group learning, to a way to try to keep folks motivated and to be efficient with shared resources, the Trail Town Stewardship Program is designed as a cohort model. And so what we mean by that is that everyone will join the program at the same time. You'll work independently as well as in a group within the same timelines. You'll have access to the same support. Everybody will kind of have the same deliverables and we'll all share in the collective impact. And so step one is that participants first need to become an Outdoor NC Alliance partner. And so partner enrollment is now open and partner enrollment runs the fiscal year of June to July. And there's 3 different levels that you can enroll in. So once you become an Outdoor NC Alliance partner, step 2 is to get acclimated. And this is kind of in that September to December timeframe. And so our partners will get access to our self-paced learning webinars and a suite of supporting resources to get acclimated with those foundational subjects for the Trail Town Stewardship Program. And this includes accessible outdoors, and is what, if anybody got the news link today, you will see that that toolkit is actually now live on Visit North Carolina. So you can go and see one of those webinars right now that we'll have around accessible outdoors. So I certainly encourage everyone to go and tap into those resources. We will also have a kind of a learning lab on destination stewardship and sustainable tourism principles, and a learning lab on effective stewardship communications. And over the course of a few months, partners will watch these webinars and complete a short learning evaluation. And you'll kind of do this, on your own time, self-paced, but we just need to make sure that you complete those webinars before the second week of December, which is when the next phase kicks in. So during the second week of November, we will invite all of the cohort participants to join us at an outdoor NC Trail Town Stewardship Workshop. We've already got 3 of these planned. These are in-person workshops. They're going to be happening across the state on December 9th. That workshop will be in the Raleigh area. I don't know that we haven't gotten specific locations yet, but we know where they're going to be. But so December 9th will be in Raleigh. December 11th will be in Rockingham County. And December the 13th will be in Asheville. And we'll have more specific information about this coming out in the next couple of weeks, but maybe go ahead and save the dates. What we'll do in these workshops is we'll start off by reviewing some of the educational content. We won't do it like kind of a deep dive and just repeat those webinars, but we will touch on what we think the key points that are critical to the Trail Town program. We will make sure that we cover those so everybody has a full understanding of those key elements of content. Then at lunchtime, we'll have a lunch and learn. We did this last year, and it was really well received. So we're excited to do that again this year. But that lunch and learn is a peer-to-peer learning opportunity where we will invite one of your colleagues, probably someone from the current Trail Town cohort, to talk about some of the work that they're doing in their destination around destination stewardship. So just a good opportunity to hear what your peers, your colleagues are doing, learn from them, ask questions of them as well. Then in the second half of the day, we will do a deep dive into the specifics around the Trail Town stewardship activities. And is what this does is it just allows us a really efficient way to share all of the different steps that you'll go through, what the different guidance documents look like, what the expectations are for creating some of the communications and things like that, and then show you examples of what others have done so you can really start to get a sense of what's expected of you. Then that next step is to activate stewardship. This is, from like January to May. This is the series of activities that we're closing out right now with our current cohort of participants. And this is when the work happens. And some of the activities that you will work on will be completing a stakeholder map. So just identifying who some of the key community stakeholders in your destination are, especially those ones that you would need to collaborate with around these types of initiatives. You'll do an asset inventory where you'll identify, kind of the assets that really, like I said, encapsulate the sense of place of your destination, as well as your ADA outdoor attractions. You'll also create a series of communications. One is to just kind of share that message out about joining the movement and trying to encourage, the people that are already following your website, your local businesses, to join the movement as well. Creating a responsible travel blog or a web page that really highlights just good practice around responsible visitation. Similarly, creating an accessible outdoors website or blog as well that would include, an accessibility statement. It would include an inventory of some of your ADA compliant outdoor assets that you have in your destination. And we have really good guidance documents to show you how to do this. Again, I would encourage you to check out the Accessible Outdoors Toolkit that is now available on visitnc.com, and you'll see the guidance document that we have. So you'll see the level of support that we provide for each one of these activities that are expected for you to do. Also doing destination trip tip itineraries and communicating the value of sustainable tourism to your local businesses. Throughout the whole process, you'll have group support and check-ins along the way. So we will have some scheduled group check-ins and then some individual your group, kind of meetings, and then some individual check-ins along the way, just to make sure everybody is kind of proceeding on track and on time, so we can hit the kind of June deadline of getting all of this information consolidated and submitted through an online form where you will give us your destination description, your destination photos, all of the links to the communications that you created, all of your kind of social handles, as well as all the trails that you identified and the information needed for them. Once we get all that kind of in early June, that's when we will start to aggregate this information. We'll update the current guide, and we will publish a second version of the guide in August. So we're kind of on the same tracking and pacing as we did this year. So that is, kind of a high level step by step for what's expected in the program. Hopefully that was useful. There will be more information about this coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. You can certainly put some questions into the chat or Q&A. Right now, I'm going to hand it over to Daniel to give us an update on the Great Trail State Coalition, but we'll be back in a few minutes to have a question and answer session as well. So with that, I'll hand it over to Dan.
Awesome. Thanks, Bobby. And yeah, thanks everyone for being here this morning. My name's Daniel Sapp, and I'm here on behalf of the Great Trail State Coalition. And so if you're not familiar with the Great Trail State Coalition, then you may be familiar with last year's Year of the Trail campaign. And so Bobby, you can go on to the next slide. And so the Great Trail State Coalition is a group of agencies, trail builders, and other stakeholders, companies that design trail infrastructure and so on and so forth, that are all involved in trails and more on the infrastructure side of trails. And the vision of the Great Trail State Coalition and the mission is to have trails in every one of North Carolina's 100 counties, because as Bobby said earlier, and as we all know, trails bring so many benefits, whether it's health, safety, community health, environmental benefits, and of course, tourism and the economic benefits. And so with the Great Trail State Coalition, we've been working at a legislative level to work to increase funding for trails and, ensure that there are grants and ways that trails can be built. And, what does success look like for us? And it's the adequate recurring funding for the Great Trail State program. And last year, we were lucky with Year of the Trail that the legislature in North Carolina established the Great Trail State Fund. And that's funded right now with $25 million over the next 2 years. And so there's a grant cycle open right now if you want to go in, if you have a shovel-ready project, and apply for funding and money for that. And we also are working to increase, have more programs that support trail development and infrastructure. And then lastly, North Carolina, as we've said, is the Great Trail State. And we worked over the last 6 months or so to really define and develop the Great Trail State brand. And you can see the branding here, and we'll get a little bit more into that here in a bit. I'm going to the next slide, Bobby. And so this year, our goal, we want to share that Great Trail State brand with everyone. It's an open source brand. We have the assets. We want everyone to use it. The more that we can help people hear that North Carolina is the Great Trail State in all the communications possible, then the more it kind of just sticks with everyone. And it's like, all right, let's go to the Great Trail State, or we are the Great Trail State. We also want to serve as the hub and, transmission of sorts for all trail events and resources that, people need to find trails. We have a great website, greattrailsnc.com, and there's an events page, and it's populated with events from across the state. We're kind of like the neutral third party in promoting and sharing events with people. And so you're welcome to upload your events, tell others to upload their events, and send people to find events. There's stuff from the mountains to the coast, everywhere in between. And also, we're engaging everyone on social media. We have a strong social media presence. We started a couple years ago, leading into Year of the Trail, and we're reaching hundreds of thousands of people a week, many times often more. And we're sharing content, we're sharing what Outdoor NC is doing. We're sharing what partners are doing. We're sharing what communities, people, and places all across the state are doing regarding trails, whether it's ideas for people to get out on the trail or ways that people can be involved in trail maintenance, because as we know, trails don't build themselves, but it's not often something that we think about. You know, a lot of times people just are like, oh, it's awesome that these trails are here, but the stewardship part of it's super important as well. And then this fall, September 11th through 13th, we're hosting the first Great Trail State Conference. And so the Great Trail State Conference is going to have all sorts of awesome sessions led by amazing speakers, talking about trails, infrastructure, how to get trails in your communities, and the benefits of trails. Go on to the next slide. All right, so here's just kind of a little preview of the Great Trail State brand. Worked with the team at Blue Ion on developing this, and we also work with our partners at Department of Cultural and Natural Resources, Visit NC. And so our goal with this, as I was saying, is we want everyone to use it, share it. The assets are on our website. If there's an asset that you need and it's not there, just send us an email, info@greattrailsnc.com, and we can get it to you. Go on to the next slide. So this kind of just reiterates, you know, we want widespread adoption of the Great Trail State branding, which we're already doing a great job of. You know, increased awareness of North Carolina trails, which goes to benefit all of us. And then, you know, using greattrailsnc.com as the hub for trail information across the state. You know, with the events, we have blogs and content going up, and it's a way to connect volunteers to trail maintenance opportunities as well. If there's a trail workday in your community, then let's make sure it's on the website. All right, Bobby. So this is a little look at the homepage of the website. And you can see up top, we have a Find a Trail feature. Then we have the events page. We have trail stories. We have a merch store because we're trying to get that Great Trail State brand out. We have a few pieces of merchandise in there already. And then the Use the Brand section is one that many of you will find useful. And that's where all of the branding guidelines and branding assets are. And then, of course, there's a link to the Great Trail State Coalition, which is behind all of this. And it can take you to the Great Trail State Coalition website, where you can learn more about the legislative opportunities and ways that we're working in that. All right. All right, so a little preview, you know, Great Trail State Conference. There's going to be a film festival. We have events. There's going to be bike rides, trail meetups, tours. There's going to be a great I'm leading a session on the future of trail stewardship in North Carolina, and we're going to have a panel discussion on that because trail stewardship's changing a lot, and it's important that we get the younger generation involved in that and work to steward trails in a way that make them sustainable as tourism grows and trail use grows. I mean, I think we all saw with COVID how many people got out on trails, and that's not slowed down very much at all. And that's a good thing, but we have to work to ensure that the infrastructure is there to support those, you know, that high visitation, that high amount of usage. All right, Bobby. And so, as I was saying, you know, here's a few of the presentation topics. You know, there's going to be economic and how you can get trails funded, how they benefit people's health, everything else, how to manage trails, how to assess them, maintain them, and then how to get things out there, how to promote your events, how to promote what you're doing in your communities and get it out to a wide range of people that aren't just in your community, but across the state and across the country. And there's also going to be sessions on advocacy and leadership. Annette Clapsaddle, she is in Cherokee. She's a phenomenal speaker, phenomenal author. Some of you may know her, have heard her speak before, but she's going to be our keynote speaker. And so that's really exciting for us as well. And so it's a little bit more about the conference. Just, you know, talk about collaborating. I think a really cool collaboration that we saw recently, that everyone, I think the Visit NC folks are involved with, Derek and Nate from Uproar, but Catawba Falls, you know, there's a lot of different government agencies, local leaders and officials and TDAs getting together to create a solution in the modern day to what was a huge problem in a way. There are a lot of expenses with rescues and carryouts there, They worked to develop and figure out a way to put the infrastructure in to support tourism now. And now it's going to be a huge impact on that community. And it's going to be a lot safer for people to view the falls. All right. So you can register for the conference at greattrailstatecoalition.org. It's on the conference page, and there's some early bird pricing and everything else. So check that out. And then Great Trail State Day. We had the first annual Great Trail State Day last year, and it was kind of a build on the year of the trail. Great Trail State Day, it's the third Saturday in October every year. And the goal is to just get people out and on trails, celebrate those trails, the people that steward them, and work to help educate people on why trails are important, how to sustain trails and protect trails, and just celebrate them. One of the big things that the coalition is doing is the more people we get celebrating trails and excited about trails will help push local leaders and officials to invest in trails. And that'll push more funding at the state level. And so all of it's important. It's all part of this big ecosystem. And Great Trail State Day is just the day for everyone in North Carolina that lives here and visits here to celebrate trails in the Great Trail State. And so just to kind of recap a little bit, the big ways that we can ask everyone to get involved is use the brand. That's the first and biggest way that anyone can do anything. Use the assets. We've developed them. They are for everyone to use. They don't cost anything. It's free. Put your events on greattrailsnc.com. We'll share those events also out through our social channels, and it's an easy way to get eyes on what's going on in your community. We also have a newsletter with near 20,000 subscribers and quickly growing, and it's people from all across the state, not just people in one community or another. Plan an event for Great Trail State Day. Plan events throughout the year. Do something at the end of summer. There's tons of resources out there for getting kids on trails and so on and so forth. Come to the Great Trail State Conference. It's going to be a great time. Tons of information out there, and everyone there, we're all going to learn a lot. Encourage people to tag us and share your stories at Great Trails NC. That's our social handle. We'll reshare those stories. We'll also reach out to you on certain stories and work to develop additional content with those. And then finally, of course, join the Great Trail State Coalition, because the advocacy behind trails is super critical to everything else that we all do. And I think that might be it.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. That's a fantastic update and good information on things that are coming up from the Great Trail State Coalition and ways everyone here can participate. And hopefully everyone sees that these are really complementary opportunities for our partners in a way for us just to really gain more traction and attention around the Great Trails State. And all of the wonderful resources that visitors can enjoy, as well as residents. And so, yeah, certainly encourage everyone to participate with the Great Trail State Coalition and with Outdoors NC. And yeah, just really try to leverage both opportunities to bring more awareness to your community and your trails. So with that, we have a few more minutes where we can take some questions if anyone has any. So Heidi, I'm not sure if anything came in or if anybody wants to add questions to the chat or to the Q&A.
Yeah, Bobby, we did have a couple questions. The first one is, for the Trail Town Guide, will it be online only or will that be in print as well?
Uproar, you want to jump on that one?
Yeah, so for the first year, yes, it's going to be exclusively online, and most likely for the second year as well, it'll be an online format. We hope to work toward a printed guide in the future, but for our pilot year, yes, online.
Right. And if we're not already Outdoor NC Partner Alliance members, how would we go about doing that?
I think it would be to reach out to Amanda. She would be able to get you enrolled and set up with the onboarding packet. Like I said, there's a a number of things coming online over the next couple of weeks too about getting enrolled and onboarded. Can somebody drop maybe Amanda's email in the chat just to be sure everyone has that?
Yeah, no problem. I think Heidi, you're going to have to do that. I think our messages are only going to the hosts and panelists. So
Ah,
yeah.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, at every level of the Outdoor NC Partner Alliance program has a customized onboarding packet with interactive links and ways to contact whoever the key individuals are for each of the programs. It also comes with a custom checklist by level that shows what all of your benefits are based on the level that you have signed up for to make sure that you receive all of the benefits. Some of those do require a little bit of collaboration back and forth. Some of it is just automatic. And I also wanted to emphasize that every facet of the Trail Town program, whether it's your trip tips page or your accessible outdoors page, also has a custom step-by-step guide that we have created that shows you how to create and implement and execute with best practices, everything within the Trail Town program. So just wanted to share that as well.
Yeah, thanks for that, Nate. And yeah, and if anybody wants to see an example of that, I'll plug it again, the accessible outdoors toolkit that's now available on the industry page for Visit North Carolina. It just went out today with the news link. So check that out. And then you can see an example of the guidance that we provide through just that document, but then also with support that comes along with that.
yeah, that's going to be on our partners site, but there is a direct link to it. Excuse me, in Newslink, but you just have to scroll down a little bit because it'll try to take you to the outdoor toolkit first. It's just below that, and you don't need a password or anything to get to that. So use that. Well, guys, I tell you, you did such a thorough job that is all the questions that we have. I did try to put those, I just typed in the links that you had submitted into the chat as well. So they are available. And really good information. I hope everybody got a lot out of this. We are so excited about all these programs. And it's great to have this partnership with the Great Trails State Coalition as well. So thank you all very much. Our next webinar will be July 10th. And just stay tuned to Newslink for the topics that will be covered on that. And unless anybody has any closing remarks, we thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you next month. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.